Asia Pacific region. Good evening and good morning from Singapore. Before we start the sharing from Celeste, I'm going to share with you a little bit more about the Asia Pacific region. So in the Asia Pacific region, we have over 30 million Scouts and across 29 member countries or NSO. These you can press next. Yes, and as you know, in the world, we have over 50 million Scouts now, and more than half, I would say about 70% of the membership in Scouts are in the Asia Pacific region. Our member NSOs covers all the way north to Mongolia, all the way south to New Zealand, all the way east to Kiribati, and all the way west to Afghanistan. So that's actually a really big area that Asia Pacific region covers. Now I'll hand the time over to Celeste to share with you more about scouting in Philippines.
All right, thank you so much, Wei Yung. Thank you also to Reese for introducing me and Wei Yung to this very great show for this morning here in Singapore, the Philippines, and afternoon there in America. Hello to our viewers. Hello to everyone who is watching us live right now. It's really great to be back with working on something related, scouting related activity, because honestly, I have been too bombarded with a lot of school requirements lately, and honestly, I just finished our finals exam last week, and you know, it's very stressful. But anyways, you know, a few days back, when the official page of the Boy Scouts of America have just newly released the invitation publication materials that Reese have made, which I think is really cool. I honestly felt super duper excited for it. Like, since then, I have been looking forward for this day to happen, and here it is. I am very delighted to appear before all of you here, and I hope that I may be able to share a piece of what scouting looks like here in Asia Pacific region and in my NSO, the Boy Scouts of the Philippines. But before that, I would like to again formally introduce myself to all of you. Next slide, please. All right, so once again, good morning, everyone. I am Celeste. I have been a member of the Boy Scouts of the Philippines for 5 years now, since I was 14 years old, since I was in grade 8, freshman years in high school. And I'm also a member of the National Executive Board of the Boy Scouts of the Philippines, which is the highest governing body of the organization. There, we make policies, we make projects, we make you know, something that would change the whole organization. And I am recently lucky to be one of the 10 outstanding Boy Scouts of the Philippines for the year 2019. And I am also one of your Jwati 2020 hosts, if you still remember. And yeah, I'd like to start off by this very favorite line of mine, which is, next slide, please. Kumusta? Right there, kumusta. This is my favorite line. It is a Filipino word which seeks to ask someone how he has been doing. Like if everything still goes fine, or you know, just basically catching up with someone to know how they have been doing or how they have been feeling lately. And I think that it is really appropriate, or it is high time for us to catch up with our friends, our families, our co-scouts, and even ourselves, you know, to know or to assess how we have been doing, especially in this time of pandemic. We all know that this pandemic is causing so much delays on our plans. It has limited our way of life, and also because of this pandemic, our scouting plans may have also been limited, which I think is very devastating for me, because I'm always an outgoing person. I always love the outdoors, and the fact that we are stuck with our homes, I just miss the outdoors. I miss the jamboree vibes, everything that happens outside our house. But luckily, through this quick online sharing, we hope that we may be able to bring the real scouting vibes and feels that we normally feel on the outdoors. I really miss the outdoors. I miss campings, I miss hikings, and making a bonfire with my friends. We all do that in any jamboree that we go to. And all of those will be brought back in the next slides of this virtual event. So next slide, please. Yes, just like what Wei Yung have mentioned earlier, we have over 40 million scouts all over the globe. We have the scouting population we have around the globe is very large. And next slide. 30 million of which comes from the Asia Pacific region, the scouting region that has the biggest scouting population. And from that number, we have more than 1 million scouts from the Philippines. Next slide, please, Reese. Thank you so much to Reese, who is in charge of our technicals. And yeah, 1 million, and we're still counting. You know, here in the Philippines, the youth is very enthusiastic when it comes to joining the organization. And I think that this is also because of the advantages, the lessons, and the kind of friendship that the child or any adult gets in the organization. It's like when we are with our scouting friends, we get to feel the kind of belongingness. We feel that we are at home, we are comfortable, and yet thrilled with the adventure that the organization has to offer for us. And I must say that without scouting, I clearly do not have a vision of where I can see myself right now. Like, there are times that I would ask myself, what would I be if I wasn't a scout right now? Or what would life offer for me if I did not join the scout organization 4 or 5 years ago? And oftentimes, I would be left with no answers. I would find it very challenging for me to look for answers. And you know, it may sound very cliche for me, but scouting is what completes me. It's my everything. It's my treasure and something that will always be a part of me. And I think that I'm not alone in saying that. For most of us, we treat scouting as like the very big part of our lives. And that is also how much I thank the 7 brilliant minds who made scouting in the Philippines possible. Next slide, please. Oh, but before that, here is the breakdown of, I forgot. This is the breakdown of the population in the Philippines. We have 10 scouting regions in the Philippines. It is divided into 3, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Those are the islands, the 3 major islands. And within those 3 islands, we have those 10 regions. The Central Luzon region, the National Capital region, the Ilocos region, Southern Tagalog region, Bicol region, and more and others of the region that you can see from this slide. All right, so next slide, please. All right, so as I was saying earlier, I'm very thankful for the 7 brilliant minds who made Scouting the Philippines possible. The birth of the Boy Scouts of the Philippines was made possible, yes, by the 7 people who chartered and founded the organization. We have here Joseph Emil H. Stevena, Arsenio N. Luz, Carlos P. Romulo, General Vicente Lim, Judge Manuel R. Camus, George V. Vargas, and Gabriel A. Taza. Actually, during our 80th foundation here in the Philippines, 80th chartering foundation of the organization, we made a neckerchief, or the National Office of the Boy Scouts of the Philippines made or designed a neckerchief that has the complete names of the 7 charter members of the Boy Scouts of the Philippines. But just their surnames, just the Steve Knott, the Luz, Romulo, Lim, Camus, Vargas, and Daza. And it's actually one of my favorite neckerchiefs out there. It's very simple, yet it resembles so much of the Philippine neckerchief, the Philippine colors in the neckerchief. And so, yeah, those are the 7 people who started scouting in the Philippines. Next slide, please. We are now going to talk about the senior scouting section that is present here in my organization. Next, please. Okay, all right, so first we're going to talk about, we have here the three scouting sections, the Boy Scouting section, the Senior Scouting section, and the Rover Scouting section. Here we have the Boy Scouting section, which is available for those who are aged 9 to 12 years old. They undergo through different courses, and they have requirements as well to accomplish for them to become tenderfoot scout, second class scout, first class scout, scout service, and scout citizenship. And at this age, um, unfortunately, honestly, I'm still not a part of the scouting organization, which I think I must have done well. But I think um, I still had the best years in scouting, even though I was not able to join in earlier at this age. So yeah, I joined scouting at the next rank, which is the next slide, or the next section rather. Next slide, please. Here we have the senior scouting section. This is where I started my journey in the world of scouting. This is from aged 12 to 19 years old. And here you also have to accomplish different kinds of requirements, courses, different kinds of tasks before you will be able to step. Well, it's like it has ladders so that you can go through different levels. It starts off with the member, and then the explorer, the pathfinder scout, the outdoorsman, the venturer, and the highest, which is the Eagle Scout rank. Currently, I am an Eagle Scout rank, and under that, we also have what do you call this? I forgot it. Special awards, which is the Bronze Anaho Award, the Silver Anaho Award, the Gold Anaho Award. But for me, the Eagle Scout rank is what I have for now. I still don't have those um, bronze, silver, and gold yet. And also we have the rover scouting section, which I'm so sorry, I have to apologize because I forgot to place on our slides. We in the Boy Scouts of the Philippines scouting section, we also have the rover scouting, which is for those who are aged 19 and above, those who are like 20 to 25. And I'm also planning to join the rover scouting section once I am already on the right age of being a part of it. So yeah, that's pretty much what we have in the scouting section in the Philippines. Again, we have the Boy Scouting, the Senior Scouting, and the Rover Scouting. We have three. And now moving on, we have the uniform right there. In some jamborees, maybe you have already seen Filipino scouts, and you may observe these uniforms that they are wearing. These the pants, the polo that I'm wearing right now, the belt, the shoes, our slides, our wogles, our neckerchief, and oh, the buckle. You have to remember that the belt on your buckle is always shined, or else your crew leader, your group leader is going to shout at you. Or if you don't want to get scolded by your crew leader, you have to always make sure that your buckles are very shiny, shining like gold. So yeah, moving on. Next slide. Those are the basics of our uniform. There, we have the Carabao slide. If you can see here, this is the official slide that we are wearing. Mine just happens to look white because this is made of another wood, but this is still the same as the Carabao slide. Carabao because this is the official animal, national animal of our country, and in some jamborees, there's a lot of foreigner scouts or scouts from other nations who always ask to trade this woggle, because for them they think that this is very nice, and they think that it it looks very limited edition. But I just wish I was able to bring a lot of this when I went outside of the country, so that I was able to trade this to some of my international scouting friends. So anyway, this is again our Carabao slide, our official woggle that we use. And on the side, you may see that we have here 3 different colors of neckerchiefs. The green one is for the Boy Scouting section, the one I have told you earlier. The red one is for the Senior Scouting section, and the blue one is for the Rovers. So yeah, next slide please. our scouting neckerchief. Oh, here we have the Philippine contingent neckerchief. This is what the scouts usually wear when they go outside of the country to represent our NSO on international gatherings like World Scout Jamborees, like forums, international let's say just basically any international gatherings. Actually, it is the one that I'm wearing right now. It's called the Philippine Contingent Neckerchief. When you unfold it, wait, I feel like I want to show it to everyone because it has a very, very unique design, and it signifies a lot from the Philippines flag. Here you can see. I hope you guys can see me. This is the same as the Philippine Contingent Neckerchief, and if you can see at my screen, look at me here. This is the design of our Philippine Contingent Neckerchief. Right there. It has a sun, a big sun here at the middle, and then three stars, one at the middle, 2, 3, which represents the 3 islands which I have mentioned earlier, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, and the Philippine flag colors, which is blue, white, yellow, and red. Mine just so happens that it doesn't have yellow because I don't know, the manufacturer might have forgot to put the yellow linings on it. But anyway, this is also one of my favorite neckerchiefs in my collection because this is very limited edition and I just love it. This is really, really sentimental for me. So anyway, we fold our neckerchiefs only with a specific number, 6 folds, 6 in the right and also 6 on the left, which when combined will represent or signify the 12 points in the Scout Oath and Law, which is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent, which also reminds the people that whenever they are wearing the neckerchief, they must always remind themselves of the 12 points in the Scout Oath and Law. Whenever they are wearing our neckerchief, they must be trustworthy, they must be loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, and and up to the reverent point. So yeah, I hope I can have a trading session with some of you, maybe in the future. I don't know. Moving on. So that's pretty much what we have in the neckerchiefs. Now we are going to talk about the BSP logo. Here we can see that the overall shape of our logo looks like a fleur-de-lis. Overall fleur-de-lis shape for the compass rose, referring to both the outer slant shape and mortal compass of the Scouts. And you may also notice from our logo the 3 points, which refers to the 3 duties of a Scout, which is duty to God, duty to country, and duty to self. And then you may also notice from our scouting logo, the upward turned ribbon reminding us a smiling scout. That a scout is cheerful. The ribbon down there, the ribbon that is like the smiling shape, it reminds us to always smile and to always be cheerful. And as you can see there too, there is a knot at the bottomest part of our logo. Overhand knot. It's an overhand knot, which reminds us to do a good turn daily. That is what I always keep on reminding myself, do a good turn daily. And the Philippines ribbon has the words laging handa, which means always prepared. There at the green ribbon, you can read that as laging handa, which means always prepared. So yeah, that's pretty much what our scouting logo has to present. And I must say that it's the design of it, the overall design of it is really great because it also has the colors of our flag, which is yellow, white, red, and blue. And just basically everything about it is very sentimental, and like especially the one that has the smiling stuff. I don't know. And now moving on. Next slide, please. There. Philippines also has numerous lands and campsites that is capable of hosting such a big number of scouts for, let's say, a January. If you can see from this slide, this is the Mount Makiling, Los Baños, Laguna, and this has been one of the most frequently chosen places to do jamborees and campsites. And uh, in fact, this place holds a very precious history because this is where the first World Scout Jamboree in Asia was held. That was the 10th World Scout Jamboree, if my memory still serves me right. The 10th World Scout Jamboree, which happened at the year 1959. Personally, I've been in that place too, and you know what? The campsite was really, really big, and there was one time that my group and I had to hike the mountain, and then we're not even halfway through our trail and I'm already tired. I already asked our scout leaders to please, sir, can we please stop for a bit because my knees are already trembling, and they were all laughing at me because you know I'm not really good with long walks, but um, luckily my group of friends were able to help me and still enjoy the whole camp or the whole campsite, the whole place, even if it's really really big, because I don't know how to put it into words, but the place is just really great for campings, really great for for hikings, and it's just a perfect place. It's actually termed by everyone as the happy land, as the happy land. I don't know why, but it just so happened that it's being termed as the happy land. And next slide. Oh, there. Um, just recently we had one of the biggest um what's recently we had the 17th National Scout Jamboree, which was attended by more than 25,000 scouts all over the country. And as you can see from this aerial shot, the campsite is just really really big. There is rivers at the side, and you can see that there's also mountains at we're also near the mountain, and here the place is very green, fresh air. This happened at Zambales, at the northmost part of the Philippines, and I must say that it's one of the best place to have jamborees. So this is what it looks like in the morning and in the evening. Next slide. This is what it looks like in the evening. It's really big, right? We don't have like a source of light, like electricity that time, so we 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 have to do our own ways. We have to look for our own ways to provide light for the evening. So some of the scouts are using solar panel lights, the one that collects light and then turns it or converts it into energy and light in the evening. And I think that is what helped the groups survive for the whole week of jamboree and camping during the 17th National Scout Jamboree. So yeah, this is just a very majestic um, this is just a very majestic view for me, and I really miss the camping vibes, everything about what happened during this jamboree, because not only it is one of the biggest campings in our history, but it was also because I have met quite a lot of people with very diverse personalities, with very diverse cultures that time, and that alone is just very, very, um, you know, one that I have to treasure for the rest of my life. And I think that is one of the gifts that we always get in scouting. So, next slide, please. There you can see how much 25,000 scouts looks like in an aerial shot. You see, you would barely even know that these are people from an aerial shot. Like, I mean, I was at the stage that time, and just by looking at thousands and oceans of people smiling at you everyone was enjoying, everyone was smiling, everyone was enjoying the best part of their lives. I think that is one of the best feelings I could have ever felt in my whole 17 years of experience. That that still gives me the goosebumps until now, because actually I cried after while seeing that, because I don't know, scouting really just have a really great impact for many Filipinos, for many scouts like me who really value and treasure scouting like the way it is. So yeah, I just miss everything about this. Next slide, please. There. Now let's talk about the things or the food that you must try when you get to visit here, when you get to visit the Philippines. Here we have our famous foods like barbecue, chop suey, Shanghai. What else do we have here? Pusit, shrimp, octopus, tinola. And the one that you can see from down there, the pig, it's called lechon. It's very famous. Like every celebration we have here in the Philippines, like New Year, Christmas, yeah, festivals, birthdays, and weddings, and even christenings, we always have that lechon. Lechon is always present on our tables and on our plates, because it's very, very crispy, and like the inside of it is just very nice. You should try it when you get to visit here in the Philippines. And there's a lot more other foods and viands that you have to try, more than those that you can see from the slide. And I must say that um, we're very rich with different flavors. And if you try it out, it's just very cheap. If you get to buy it on like canteens or on restaurants, it's not that expensive. It's just cheap, actually. Cheap, but very, very great in taste. Next slide, please. There, also, when you get to visit the Philippines, I'm also encouraging you to try and buy yourself some of our crafts, some of our things that we normally buy for ourselves. We call it pasalubong, like something that you can give to your friends or families after joining a jamboree from another country. And you know what? I'm really encouraging you to buy these stuffs from our fellow men, our fellow Filipinos, because not only it is that you're providing for yourself, you're also providing for those who are making these stuffs. You are providing for those indigenous people who are making these making this handmade stuffs. Um, Here you can see the salakot, the one at the upper part, like the hat. It's the one that I have used during the Jota Joti shows. I don't know if you can still remember it, but it's also one of my favorite stuffs when in scouting. Like I can never go into any hiking or to any campings without it, because I always have to cover my face from the sunlight and everything. Yeah, so there we have the salakot and some baskets and other crafts that our indigenous people here are diligently doing. So yeah, so please also support these local products, because not only it is very creative, it is very sturdy, and it lasts for a very long time. And next slide, please. There, we are now going to talk about how we celebrate Christmas here in the Philippines. You know what? Filipinos celebrate the longest Christmas here. The longest Christmas. Like the moment we start per month, October. We celebrate Christmas as early as October, and then it goes until October, November, December, January, until until the first week or the mid part of February. As early as October, we are already lighting up our houses with lights, with those parol. If you can see down there, the stars, we call it parol. It has been a part of Filipino tradition for a very long time now. We always make this parol because it signifies hope. And Christmas in the Philippines is just not complete without that little star out there. And then we also go to churches. We we always spend it with our family, with our maybe boyfriends and girlfriends, you know. And of course, we also complete it with a very festive celebration and gathering with food. And that includes all of those that I have mentioned earlier. So yeah, I hope you guys will be able to experience Christmas here in the Philippines because I don't know, it's just very festive. It's very colorful, and I must say, um, it's one of the best, I think. Although right now, I think it would be different, like the way we do it before because of the pandemic. We cannot go outside, we cannot do as much fun, and we cannot, we cannot celebrate to the fullest. I think it would be limited because everything will just happen inside of our homes, unlike before that we can go out and enjoy as much as we can. But still, I'm very hopeful that we may still be able to share a piece of um, fun, a piece of the Filipino tradition when it comes to celebrating Christmas here in the Philippines. So yeah, that's pretty much what we do, how we do Christmas here in the Philippines. Next slide. Oh, I think we're about to end. But before that, before I end my part or my discussion for this morning, I would like everyone to hear this from me. I would like everyone to be reminded that while we are confined in our homes, struggling and stuck with this unwanted pandemic, I hope that we see this as a way to keep ourselves active within the organization. Our voices as youth and as scouts are much needed now more than ever. Even in these trying times, I hope that we will keep our burning passion for scouting. This has been my mantra ever since the pandemic had started early or late March because I've always believed that once a scout, always a scout, and that no matter how hard the adversity or no matter how big the challenge there is, a scout will always find a way to keep his burning passion for scouting. So, yeah, next slide, please. Thank you so much for listening to me. Advance Merry Christmas to everyone, and shout out to all of my friends, to all of my family who keeps on supporting me here in the Philippines and even outside our borders. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Once again, this has been Celeste Kanunua from the Philippines and Asia Pacific region. If you have any questions, you can reach through my following social media accounts on Facebook, Celeste Kanunua, on Instagram at Kanunua Celeste, and on my Gmail account, kanunuaceleste2002 at gmail.com. I hope you guys have learned something from me, and I hope you have also enjoyed it as much as I did, because you know what, for the past few weeks, I've long been feeling very excited for this event, and I'm just very fulfilled that finally we're able to do it successfully with Reese and with Wei Yung later on. So yeah, that's it for my part. Thank you so much, and I hope that you guys have learned something about Boy Scouts of the Philippines and the Asia Pacific region. Thank you. Reese? All right.
Hi, everybody. Good morning from Singapore. And first, my name is Lim Wei Yung. And I underline my name Lim because Lim is my family name. So my given name is actually Wei Yung. So you can call me Wei Yung. I'm a Rover Scout from Singapore, and I currently am a member of the Asia Pacific Regional Scout Committee, and I serve as the chairman of the Asia Pacific Regional Youth Representatives for this triennium. I'm currently 26 years old, and I'm currently studying a Bachelor in Communications. Reese, next slide, thank you. Yes, so the Singapore Scout Association is founded in 1910, which is quite early. When Sir Frank Cooper Sands from the United Kingdom came to Singapore with the support of the YMCA, we managed to start the first scout troop called the Sands First Troop in 1910. And And because of this founder that brought scouting to Singapore, we have this award right in the middle. If you see that award there is called the Frank Cooper Sands Award. And that award is only given to troops who have successfully managed to hit a level of participation, a level of awards, and a level of international participation, and many other criteria. So there's the Gold Award, the Silver Award, and the Bronze Award. So this is the Frank Cooper Sands Award that we have in Singapore. The Scouts can proudly wear the badge on their uniform, and everyone in Singapore will know that their troop has reached a certain level of achievement. Next slide, please. And now we have the different scouting sections. We have the Cub Scouts, which are from 7 to 12 years old, which we call, who are in the primary schools in Singapore. Scouts 13 to 16, who are the secondary school or high school in Singapore. And Venture Scouts, who are one level above, either in junior college or in polytechnics. And the Rover Scouts 17 to 26. Yeah, next slide. This is the highest award for Cub Scouts. So if you see that small, cute little wolf badge, that is called the Aquila Award. So the Cub Scouts can look forward to achieving the Aquila Award, and we have many Aquila Awards every year. For the Scout section, we have the highest award called the Chief Commissioner's Award. So this is given by the Chief Commissioner to those who have attained the highest level of scouting in the Scout section. And for the Venture section, we have the President Scout Award. This is given and awarded to by our President, who is also our Chief Scout. And I would say this is the pinnacle award for Scouts. And recently, we just had our ceremony for our newly awarded President Scout awardees for the Venture Scout section. And the Rover Scouts, the highest award is the Baton Power Award. And that's what they can look forward to achieve it. Next slide, please. So in Singapore, we have a total membership of 12,005. That sounds really small compared to the Philippines. Yeah, and out of this 12,005, about half of them are Cubs, and a quarter of them are Scouts. And as we go older and older, it gets lesser and lesser. So 600 Venture Scouts and 270 Rover Scouts. But in totality, we have about 1,500 adult leaders. And you may think, why are there so many leaders? It's because scouting in Singapore are in schools. So like the teachers will also be the leaders. You know, some parents step up as scout leaders and serve in the scout troops. So that's why we have many scout leaders and we have many trained adult leaders. Next slide. We have three different types of scouts. We have the Sea Scouts, we have the Air Scouts, and we have the Land Scouts. Majority of us are Land Scouts. Like you can see, I'm wearing the green uniform, so I'm a Land Scout. Sea Scouts wear a different color. They wear white, and Air Scouts wear blue. So it's really interesting because there are not many Sea Scouts and Air Scouts in Singapore. And if you manage to see some of them, for those of you who have international experience, you have seen like the jewels of Singapore. Yeah. So for Sea Scouts and Air Scouts, they wear both dark blue scarves. And for Land Scouts, we wear these red and white scarves. Next slide, please. So to share more with you, this scarf is red and white. If you can see to the left of the slide, it's our Singapore flag, and it's red and white. And how many stars are there? There are 5. So if you see our scarves, how do we fold it? We actually only fold it to 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So when we actually wear it, there are only 2 at the top and 3 at the bottom. So that's how we wear our scarf because of the number of stars on our flag. And that's why we only have 5 folds on our scarf, no more and no less. Can I have the next slide, please? So Singapore has a population of more than 5.8 million people in Singapore. It's really crazy because our land area is only 700 km square or 270 square miles. That makes our density 8,358 people per square kilometer. This is crazy because then how does everybody fit physically within the 1 kilometer by a kilometer? So most of our buildings in Singapore are high-rise. So the high-rise buildings are really tall. So that's why that many people can stay in one place at one time. So to show you more about where Singapore really is, I'm gonna zoom in from Google Maps and show you where it is. Can I have the next slide, please? So this is a broad picture. You can see India, Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, and Malaysia, and then you see Singapore, and below us, we have Indonesia, Australia. So next slide, we go in deeper into it. Oh, look, Malaysia is just right above us. So we are located right at the bottom of Malaysia, and the island at the bottom of us is Indonesia. You zoom in one more time, and we'll go into, oh look, Malaysia is so big and we are so tiny. And I'm gonna show you a zoom in one more time. And this is Singapore, a really small island on the map. You probably can't see it. And if you take a marker to point it on the map, it covers more than our entire island. From left to right, we are only 50 kilometers apart. I mean, away, that's the distance. And from top to bottom, that's only 27 kilometers. So we're really not that big. You can technically take a road trip around island in just a few hours. Of course, if you don't stop to look at the nice scenery and to eat and stuff. So that's what Singapore looks like. And I'll share more about Singapore in our next slide. Singapore is a multiracial society. And we have actually 4 main races. We have the Chinese, the Malays, the Indians, and the Eurasians. So we actually have 4 main races. And in order, a majority of the races are Chinese, and then followed by the Malays, and then the Indians and the Eurasians. Can I have the next slide? We have 4 official languages. Our official language is Malay, that's our national language, but we also speak English, Mandarin, and Tamil. Although Malay is our national language, but I would say majority of people actually just speak English, and because English is our working language. This is a cool fact that our education is bilingual. That means that everybody studies English and their mother tongue. When we say mother tongue, it means what language does their mother speak. So if their mother speaks Malay, then they will study English and Malay. If their mother speaks Mandarin, then they'll learn English and Mandarin. And if their mother speaks Tamil, then you'll learn English and Tamil in their schools. So our education is bilingual. Next slide. Since we have so many races, our religions include Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, Taoism, Hinduism, and many, many other religions that we have, okay? And because of this, we celebrate many holidays. So on the next slide, I'm gonna share with you some holidays that we celebrate. So we have the New Year's Day, which everybody celebrates and going to celebrate soon. So for this year, we celebrated the Lunar New Year, which is also otherwise known as the Chinese New Year. So those are the dates. These are the public holidays that we commemorate. Good Friday is for Christians who celebrate Good Friday and Easter Sunday. Good Friday is a public holiday for everybody. We also celebrate Labor Day, and we celebrate Vesak Day for the Indians. And you can see that this year we had our polling day. So before our polling day and after our polling day, there's this Eid al-Fitr. It's short form for Hari Raya Adil Fitri and Hari Raya Puasa. So those are celebrated by the Malay community, the Muslim community. And then we have our National Day, which is on the 9th of August. And because 9th of August falls on a Sunday, so 10th August, which is a Monday, it is a public holiday in lieu. And Diwali is celebrated by our Hindus. So it's a festival of light that we just celebrated just last month. And we're gonna celebrate Christmas for those who celebrate Christmas. And I would say this is something interesting because no matter if you are Chinese, you're Malay, you're Indian, or if you are a Buddhist, or if you're a Hindu, or if you're a Muslim, I would say that we always invite our friends from the other races to come and celebrate with us. So during Chinese New Year, oh, by the way, my race is Chinese. So during Chinese New Year, I will invite my Muslim friends, my Hindu friends, and we all just come and celebrate together. And for example, during Hari Raya, my Muslim friends will invite me to their house and we'll celebrate in their house, eat nice food that their parents cook and stuff like that. So it's not, I would say in Singapore, it's so diverse and we are so immersed with each other's celebrations that we just include everybody all together and we just have fun all together as one family in Singapore. Can we have the next slide? And just now I talked about the food. Oh my goodness, every Singaporean is a foodie, right? When I was putting up this slide, it was crazy because there was too little space to fit in all my favorite food. And if you can see here, there are many food that comes from different traditions, different heritage. We have Muslim food, Malay food. We have Peranakan food, which is slightly mixed. We have durian. We have pizzas, like the Italian pizzas. We have the Japanese sushis. We have even steaks, the Western steaks and ribs. And we have stuff like laksa. And we have so many food. We have Thai food. We have Korean food. We have, it's abundant. We are spoiled for choice. If you come to Singapore, you can find any kind of food. You want to find Mexican food, Turkish food, yes, you can find it in Singapore. So I would say all Singaporeans are spoiled for choice, especially when it comes to food. We always love eating and we have a very large and diverse heritage of food in Singapore. And with that being said, I think that's a sneak peek into what Singapore is. And there's definitely more to come and more to explore and find out. If you ever come to Singapore, hit me up and I will definitely be your tour guide and bring you around to eat good food and to see the different sites in Singapore. Can I have the next slide? Thank you. And if you want to hit me up, if you happen to have the vaccine and fly over to Singapore, you can message me on Instagram or on Facebook. That's my handle, Lim Wei Yung, LIMWEIYUNG. Thank you, 谢谢, terima kasih, merci beaucoup for some of you. Yeah, and thank you and see you guys soon or hopefully next year or even the year after. Back to you, Reese.
Awesome. Now we're going to have some questions. So there were some questions posted in the Facebook comment section. So go ahead and answer them. They're posted in the chat right here, and the floor is yours.
Maybe I'd like to address the question on why is your scarf different from the girls' one? I think the only difference in scarf is because of the different section if they are Sea Scouts, Land Scouts, or Air Scouts for Singapore. So there's no difference between the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts. They all wear the same scarf. The only difference is that if they are Sea Scouts and Air Scouts, they wear a navy blue scarf. And if they're land scouts, they will wear the red scarf, and that's the main difference. I think there's a question for Celeste. Can you show us the 6 folds?
Yeah, okay. Here it is, the 6 folds. Okay, you just simply have to fold it into 6, like right there. You can see it's 6 in here. I don't know if it's visible, like there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And on the other side, it's also 6. So when you combine it together, it will be 12, which represents the 12 points in the Scout Oath and Law, which are those that I have mentioned earlier, the traits that you have to keep yourself reminded of, those trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, and so on. Does your country have McDonald's? Yes, we have a lot of McDonald's stalls here. Like in fact, we have in malls, we have separate branches of McDonald's, and recently we have opened the biggest branch of McDonald's here in our country. I don't know why that question has landed here, but yeah, McDonald's is also one of my favorite fast food chains. I would like to answer one of the questions here, which is what got you interested, or what has gotten me interested in Boy Scouts? Well, I want to be frank. I want to be honest by saying that entering the scouting or the Boy Scouting section was very, very tough for me, provided that first, because the organization was named after Boy Scouts of the Philippines, and a lot of people have misjudged me, and they thought that I couldn't make it. I would not be able to do whatever a boy can do. Some were even saying that if the boys will march and you will also be marching with them, you will fall out of the line because your legs are shorter and you cannot march as big as them. You cannot do push-ups. You will not be as you will not have the strength that the boys have. But instead, I saw it as a challenge to myself. I did not give up, and I wanted to prove not only to other people but also for myself that I can do it. And yes, luckily I was able to prove it for myself, and not just that. Now I am enjoying every parts of the scouting movement, and I'm just very glad that I took the risk. I took the biggest leap of my life, which is to join the Boy Scouts of the Philippines, because it's an adventure. It's everything for me now.
And maybe there was a question that asked, do you have messages of peace in program in your NSO? I would say in Singapore, yes, we definitely do. We do the NOP, we do the Scouts of the World Award, SWA. You can see, yeah, it's right here. The SWA award, and we launched our Earth Tribe recently, this year. So we actually do lots of WASM initiatives, and it's taken quite well by our scouts, by our cubs, and our ventures, and even our rovers. Yeah, and I think regarding the question on McDonald's, this is something interesting. Celeste, I gotta ask you this question. In Singapore, we call McDonald's Macs, but I know in some countries they call it MacD. So what do you call it in Philippines?
We call it Macdo. Let's go to Macdo. Macdo.
Oh, that's interesting.
like just a shorter term for McDonald's. Let's go to Macdo.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Yeah. Do you guys skateboard? That's an interesting question. For me, I've done skateboarding, but I do more longboarding. When I was younger, I would say now I do more bowling, and I play lots of soccer. We call it soccer in Singapore. Yeah. So how about you, Celeste?
Well, honestly, I don't do skateboarding because I'm afraid I might get bruises. And as you might have remembered earlier, I told you that I easily get tired, like from the hiking that we've had from Mount Makiling, the one that I've told you earlier. I feel like I would, I cannot do skateboarding yet, but I can do bicycling. Like I can, I do bike. I bike around our house and our community. Anything else, or are you guys? Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Well, I think that's all the questions we have so far. But if you have any more, feel free to leave them in the comments, and maybe you guys can check Facebook after this and answer some more. Thank you guys so much for your time tonight, and we will see you next time for our International Campfire Talks. Say goodbye to everyone on Facebook.